Hey guys, it's Maddie here from DCLblogger.com. Just want to do another auction day update. I think we are somewhere over here between 19 and 16,000 mana. I think we're sitting at 17,700 mana currently on the auction price. And yeah, we're on day 10. So it started at 19,000 and it's lowering by the second on day 10. It's kind of just reaching prices where we should start seeing a decent amount of activity, at least from the whales. I know there's a lot of people, guys, waiting in this zone here between like 1 and 10,000. Between 1 and 7,000 mana. There's just plenty of people that have been waiting to buy a parcel in that area. So I'm sure we'll see the most activity there if it ever gets there. But um, at least we're starting to see some traction, which is awesome. So far we have sold 462 parcels of land. I think the average price has been about 25,000 mana per land, probably closer to 20,000, considering that this giant behemoth of a whale just came by and purchased all the southern Dragon City land recently. And I've opened up his wallet. You guys can check out his wallet over here. You can see that he transferred 1 day ago. He transferred 7 million mana from Bittrex into his wallet, and yeah, he's spent it all in the last 6 hours. Like, these are his purchases: 370,000, 300,000, 370,000, etc., etc., for all the group buys that he's done. Okay, so yeah, we have some serious activity going on, guys, and it's really cool to see that already 9.5 million mana has been burnt, and only 462 parcels have been sold, guys. There's still 8,860 or so lands left to sell. Like, there's plenty of land to go around. I think we should see over 100 million mana burnt, but ideally I'd just like to see as much mana burnt as possible. I would want these lands to get a bit cheaper, so a lot of the people standing on the sidelines can get some pieces. But what I've done, guys, is I've opened up, like, with my weird, my pretty average Photoshop skills, I've photoshopped the green boxes or areas show the auction land that has been sold so far, and you can kind of see, yes, we've had a lot of activity in the auction so far, and it's very impressive seeing 10 million mana burnt and 460 parcels, but it's just a drop in the ocean, guys. There's just so much land still to go around. Look at this, all this land, all this black land, black pixels of land still to go, and we've only just like scratched the surface of purchasing. Like, even this guy that bought a chunk, pretty big chunk, I would admit, but there's still so much land to go around. Look at all this. I really think it's just a matter of time until someone buys these areas over here. And maybe this person might expand this. I'm pretty sure this was Nessie that bought this, who owns this section over here, which is pretty cool. I mean, like, it's connected to Dragon, what's that one called? This one's Dragon City, Dragon Kingdom. It's connected to Dragon Kingdom. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So yeah, guys. By the way, on this map, I've grayed out the districts that we don't really know what's happening to it. So it might look like there's a little bit less districts, but still there's a ton of districts, guys. There's so much like purple in the screen, even though there's like 15 or 20 that probably will be dissolved. There's just so much district still going around. Ton of activity, really cool. But yeah, big chunk of land there gone in the green. It's just interesting to see 7 million mana burnt. This one buyer spent 7 million mana. I'm also curious to see what happens once all the auction land has been sold off, right? So right now, when you look at the map, you kind of perceive certain areas. So once you get a bit more familiar with Decentraland and different parts of Decentraland, different valuations and what's worth what, you kind of get an idea that lands that are closer to these black areas are undesired, were not wanted that much in the first auction, right? Because that's why places around these lands weren't bought. So if you're trying to sell a land like this, chances are you're not going to sell it for much, because, well, people perceive that land as being a pretty cheap crappy land, because like I said, there's just not much activity, not much buying activity that happened in that zone in the first auction. But I'm very curious to see what happens to these same lands once all of these, when there's no black in this map at all. So now you can't tell which lands were popular, which weren't. So even lands up here might seem very desirable, just because they're so far in. So anything like close to anything here might be like extremely good. Close to districts and stuff is obviously a good thing, but you know, I'm very curious to see what market activity there will be um, in the marketplace, like the official Decentraland marketplace. I always check non-fungible, and so far today in the last 24 hours, 267,000 mana has been spent buying off the marketplace. 450,000 mana has been spent buying off from estates in the marketplace in the last 24 hours. So collectively, there's been like, you know, 700,000 mana spent in the marketplace, let alone like 6 to 7 million mana spent today in the auction. So once the auction finishes, like all the newcomers from that point and beyond will have to buy from the marketplace. So I'm very curious to see how much this is going to blow up. If it's already doing these numbers, like pretty close to 1 million mana a day, then I really think it's just gonna go crazy. Especially now, like Decentraland are gonna focus on a marketing push that's gonna bring on developers and interest, because now all the land buying has been gone, right? So now, like once there has been once the content is, I guess, sexy enough to get people to, you know, to advertise and bring more eyeballs to Decentraland, they'll start to do that. But yeah, guys, so decent progress today. I woke up to 460 parcels. I think before that it was 150, so 300 or so parcels were bought in just me sleeping for the last, like, you know, 6 to 8 hours. But yeah, very cool to see this kind of momentum. I think the next places to go will be the powers in the estates, guys. I'm telling you, the more land you have adjacent to each other, the more land you own that are joined up, the higher you can build. So not only does this give you like a bigger, obviously, length to width area, but it gives you a higher vertical distance to build, a much higher vertical distance. So something, an estate like this, you could probably build like 150 to 200 meters in height. Now compare that to a single parcel where you're restricted to 20 meters in height. Can you imagine, like, this is 6 or 7 times, or 7 to 10 times higher than a single parcel owned land because of the size of the estate. So estates are extremely valuable, especially for the bigger investors. So like I own quite a lot of estates myself, because, you know, I've invested in that because I really believe, like, I'm focusing on the commercial investors that are going to come in and hopefully build great experiences on my estates. Either they're going to buy them or I'm happy to rent them. So I've got this like pretty big estate over here, 33 pieces. Obviously not as big as 300 pieces as the last estate, but it's in a pretty good location and it's connected to the double road. Happy to you know, rent that out. And I've also got this one here, which I think is pretty cool. 24 pieces of land connected to I forgot the name of this district, Anarchy, I think it's called, something like that. And yeah, a 26 piece road with this and this 26 land kind of road type district, estate connected to this double road and fluffy district. So my idea or plan is to focus on estates, because single parcels 10 by 10 meters, they're not that appealing to me, but because I just want to make, you know, I measured out 10 by 10 meters, and although the distance is pretty good for if you want to build a small scene, but if I want to build something really big, like a massive like haunted mansion or some really cool like racing track or something like epic, right, then I'll definitely need a lot of space. And that's the idea with these estates. Like, some people have some really big plans. They want to build some huge, some people have a lot of money, guys. Like, I'm talking like tens of millions of dollars. So they need big areas to build what they want to build. And they believe a lot in Decentraland. How could you not believe a lot in Decentraland? Because it has just so much momentum going for it. Anyway, I'm rambling on now, but just a quick update on the auction results at the moment. I'll probably do another one of these tomorrow. I've shared this image in the Discord if you want to kind of have a closer look at it. But yeah, Cheers, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.